And we are back. We're back like we never left. We're back again to go over episode 7. I'm Dion. This is Jen. Doc's at the bottom here. A lot to get into. But first off, thanks for watching. If you're watching the replay or watching live, drop your questions, comments, whatever in the section. We got a lot to talk about.
Feelings that are hurt. That are hurting.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We thank y'all. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And like, share, subscribe. We're just gonna get
all
this.
Of the social media things.
I'm fairly depleted after this one because we got one more left.
I think
I have thoughts, but before we do this, I'm gonna make the pass to Doc for the layup. Give us a rundown of what we just saw.
All right, this is gonna be fairly quick. So if y'all just close your eyes and follow along with me, right?
Touch the screen.
Okay. Touch the screen. Reach out and touch the screen. Look, check this out. Okay. We pick up with the parents of our adventurers, KB, Neil, Wim, and Fern, as they prepare to send a message through the stars to their children who are lost. All right. Jod is still in the custody of Brutus and his crew. And they finally reach Attin, only to realize they cannot get through the massive gas storm. And right when they were getting ready to release the hatch and kill Jod, lo and behold, a ship appears on the radar, and it's the children in the newly immersed ship from the last episode. They are captured in a tractor beam from the pirate ship led by Brutus. Once their ship had docked on Brutus's ship, Brutus attempts to board their ship, and everything goes downhill for Brutus from there, and that's where we're going to pick up.
Okay.
And we're going to pick up from there.
Can I usually toss it to one of y'all for this?
No, you go first.
You mind? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Hey, go catch your thing.
Let it out. Let it out.
Jod deserves all the hands and fists to the face.
And the feet, and the arms, and the elbows.
He is a despicable human being.
POS is what he is.
And the fact that he still continued to talk his way, which he was right. He was completely right about Attin. He was right about the barrier. He was right about all that. We knew it.
Mm-hmm.
But for this jackwagon, and I know we'll go in. We'll just say these are our initial reactions. How about that? This jackwagon slices SM-33, and we'll get to that part too. And then the fact that he let it out on those kids about how
weak they are,
terrible they've been. And then he talked about Neil. When he talked about Neil,
that's when you got mad.
I was yelling.
If I had some sleeves,
that's what I did.
Lightsabers on the wall. I was about to grab the sithiest one out of the 4 and light it.
I was so like the whole time we've always discussed. Is there redemption for Jod? To me, this locks it in. There is none. And it leaves
that changed my whole perception of what I see going to happen at the end battle now.
Ooh.
It does, right? Like it truly does. Well, even through this episode, but those are my initial reactions. Jod's a jackwagon. We talked about it last week about Wim sort of becoming that Jedi. The entire time I was thinking, Wim, put your hand out, man. Like just maybe you can get it. Maybe you can get it. But and then he got to see the mint at the end of the episode, and I'm like,
1,139 volts,
full to the brim of old Republic coins,
ready to go.
He was getting his Scrooge McDuck on, man. Like while they were falling down on him.
That laugh, that was complete Scrooge McDuck.
But Jen, initial reactions to this episode 7 of Skeleton.
Oh my goodness, this was definitely action packed. I have to say, I love the cut where SM-33 punches him in the face while the mask is on. That was just so clean.
He was just waiting for a chance.
Like good enough for me.
Yep.
It was like in the RoboCop 1 where he couldn't attack OCP employees, and then he fired old boy. Tired of
Oh man. I mean, we got a lot in one episode. The parents finally managed to get a message out. Yay for them. Bravo. They all tried so hard. It's like, she'll be fine. Here, go. Run. You know, just like doing whatever.
I mean, Neil's mom was like, come on, Tatum, run. Or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like, that's where Neil gets it from. He gets it from his mama. That's so sweet.
Yeah,
but then, like, I saw her go down. It's like, what? I was like, what? Don't hurt anybody in the Neil family. Just don't hurt anybody in the Neil family. Just don't. But then, yeah, like, one of the things that I've enjoyed that I've thought about is the very gradual progression of Jod revealing his true character and his true nature. It has been very, very gradual. It has not been quickly. And I like that in this episode especially, and we'll see more in the next episode, is that he's really at the end of his patience. He's just ready to blow at any moment. He's literally a ticking time bomb. And I think that's really going to be his downfall, is because he's getting to the point where he's losing so much patience. He's going to react a little bit more on emotional impulse than thinking it through. And the way he took out Brutus, oh man,
I knew that was coming.
Boy,
I knew that was coming. Brutus was pissing him off from the gate.
Well, he just kept trying to kill him. I'd be upset too. Like I love that one.
I figured it was coming, but I didn't know how they were going to execute that part of the story. Like, if, like, you know, Jod proved his point and then he became captain and then he threw him in the airlock just to be like, oh, you want to put me here in the airlock? Well, here you go. And then do it that way. But this one was just like, that was just cold.
Yeah. And again, music cues, right? Music cues.
Ooh, music cues. And the way he used the Force to take off the cuffs and then got the lightsaber and started using them, like, oh, you are so trained. Who are you? What is your story? Who was your master? I need to know who you are. Oh my goodness. And because he's very skilled with it. So I'm just
okay. And Doc, I'll toss over you for your initial reaction.
No, you don't need to toss to me because I'm about to ask you a question.
No, I didn't think he was skilled in it. To me, like, no,
I knew
it was after he cut. You can tell that he is.
I could tell Jod was.
Oh, skilled, he is. He is.
To me, and I can watch the clip too. To me, it looked like after he cut SM-33's head off, the moves he was doing after felt like if I had my lightsaber at Disney World. Like, that's how I felt like when I saw it this. Sometimes.
You may learn karate from like 4 to 16, right? But if you don't use your karate for a long period of time, you're gonna be rusty at it. You're gonna kind of look kind of funny. Yeah, he ain't used it in a while. But that don't mean he ain't got skills with that joint.
We don't know how long he's been without a lightsaber, because if he's only using the Force, like to do little tricks to throw people in the distance, just taking off the handcuffs, he's not at his full potential. So it's like with Obi-Wan in Kenobi, you know, when he finally reconnected to the Force, it took a lot for him to catch Leia. He didn't do it right away like he would have if he was in his prime during the Clone Wars, where it would have just been instantaneous. So that's not surprising to me at all. But then the more he was using it and the way he held it out, turned it off, like there was just very subtle movements where I was like, oh, dude, who was your master? I need to know your story. So, he's definitely trained. He's definitely trained. And another interesting thing that I was really paying attention to was that the bots on Attin, they definitely have a very particular program, because they're not obeying certain cues that other droids would obey. Like, for example, when he says, I need to contact my ship, do this. They didn't do it. Then he asked it a second time. Well, you need to talk to the supervisor. Well, yes, go get him and get refreshments. They didn't do it. It's like, what is your programming?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like
you're hearing it, but you're not doing it. And kind of a subtle callback to when the dad says, "You guys don't listen." That was a clue. And we see it more with Jod because those are little commands that they should be obeying. Especially since he's pretending to be an emissary where that's what they're supposed to do. And we heard the voice of the supervisor, but that's not really the supervisor's voice. That's
that's yeah. And
that's the wizard's voice.
We can get into that too, but
there's something I want to throw into the conversation because while I was doing a little bit of research for some of the Easter eggs for last week, I heard a new theory that I don't know if it's true, especially what we just saw, but I want to throw it in here just for the sake of discussion. There's a new theory that Smee is actually Tack, that he has his conscience.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Because he knew all the information. Granted, like
he's the one that knew that the ship originally belonged to Attin, which is why it could go off and get on whenever he wanted. So it's like, how many trips did this dude make to Attin?
Well, now with his head disconnected from his body.
Yeah.
That's why I was like,
I'm anxious to see what happens.
Like when I saw that, I was like, well, maybe that's not correct. But then we still don't know. Because then who's the supervisor?
That's what I'm wanting to know. That's what I'm anxious to see. Who is the supervisor? Who is going to be the big reveal at the end as the supervisor?
Who's the big bad behind the curtain?
Doc, I think we went back and forth. Your just initial reactions of this episode.
Oh,
no, it's okay.
My initial reaction was Jod is a POS. I knew he was a POS out the gate. And when he shot Brutus in the face, I was like, man, I wonder what Dion thinking right now. That's exactly what I said to myself. I said, I wonder what Dion, what is Dion thinking?
I said when I saw this, Dion is hurting real bad.
At that time, I was like, I would have shot him too. I said that earlier. I was like, no. I kept calling him Goldar the whole time.
Brutus kept trying to kill Silver at every turn. He was like, hey, throw him out the airlock. Hey, cut his neck. Hey, hang him up. Yeah, he was any way to kill a man. Do it.
Put him on the rack.
And this is the reason why I thought, like, okay, he's the problem. If I'm Jod, he's the problem. He took care of that problem. Yes, he killed someone. But it wasn't until he just railroaded the kids, man. Like, at that point,
oh man,
I was like,
the look in his eye.
Tag in his eye. I hated that part. That was the part where I was like, full villain is right there. Because until you make a kid like cry, and the kid can't say anything back, that's the art of that true villain, man. Like making kids cry. There's no coming back for that.
Yeah,
and the fact that he went extra, pointing at Wim, going, "And you're the worst of all."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I was like, no. And so that happened, right? And then the other part that really upset me, because we'll get to the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I understand this man showed up in an emissary ship. I get that. But ain't nobody gonna check this dude ain't nobody gonna check his credentials. Nobody's gonna check to see who this dude is.
I think that's what we get in the next episode. I think this is all like false hope for him, perhaps, until we get the big reveal of who the big bad is. And then because now the parents are down there.
Yeah.
The possibility again. I mean, like, I'm really paying attention to the droids because their programming is so unique. At first, when I heard that second, I thought it was a ship at first, but like the platform that the parents came down on, I thought to myself, is the supervisor coming?
It feels that way, right? Like, but it feels like he'll be there.
I feel like he's gonna show up, and it's just gonna be like.
But here, I have more questions though.
Okay.
So, just dig this right quick. I'm the emissary. Mm-hmm. I really don't know what that means when an emissary comes to Attin. Does that mean you come and show me some vaults and I'm supposed to get some of this change and take it back to the galaxy and, hey, hand out these old Republic coins? What does that mean?
But it's never, nothing's ever, the emissaries never come to the droid,
yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. So why, with that being said, Dion, and Jennifer, pay attention to what I'm about to ask.
Yes.
With that being said, why would you take them to the vault with the money?
Well, one hypothesis guesstimation is, I keep going back to the droids programming. There's a possibility that the droids, if someone comes in that they know that's not authorized, it could be a charade where, okay, we'll take them, because if you look at the vaults, there's only one way in and one way out.
Right in the middle of the city, it felt like.
And,
like
and
in the park.
Which everyone was like shocked. They were like, there's a platform. There's a ship landing on a platform, and it goes down in the.
Just imagine you out there with a picnic blanket, and in the middle of the ground open up.
I didn't know we did this. We did. So it could be a little bit of charade. It's like, yeah, entertain him. Let him come in, because there's one way in, one way out, and those droids are everywhere.
But Jen,
yes,
here's my thing.
Yes,
you can't look at this dude and tell he a bum. Do you think an emissary would be dressed like this?
To Wim's father's point, you all don't listen.
This is true.
So that's why I'm really suspicious of the droids, because I'm like, come on, you would know what a real emissary would be, the way they would come. It wouldn't just be one person without other people around them. So that's why I'm wondering if they're just like pulling his chain, and then they're just gonna take him and
I'm taking it back to Dion's point. Hey, some days your man might be in there with the Scrooge McDuck black and white on, swimming around and all that. Dog, like when the coin started falling on his head, and he was that maniacal laugh. That
man basically pulled out a towel and started washing himself. Man. Like that's how, because it was.
He literally put his head down and let it fall on his head.
It was very similar to that opening of the series, right?
Yeah.
When he looked and there was that one
coin,
that one credit there, and now he has an ocean. Of credits there, but I do feel like we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna let you see this, but I don't think you're gonna make it out of here.
And by the way, we know you're not a Republic emissary.
Exactly.
But then I think to myself, it's gonna be hell getting your mans up out of there if can't nobody fight with no damn lightsaber too.
Who get Jod out there?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's
because if he is, to Jen's point, if he is trained, bro, it's gonna be hell trying to get him up out of there.
It's a very good point, because I fully believe at this point he is trained, and the fact that we get more reveal of just how powerful he is and how clean his force ability is. We don't know, how long it's been since these droids or anybody has dealt with anyone that was a Jedi. If they ever did, we don't even know if they have.
To Neil's point, we don't have war on my planet. We just say I'm sorry and we keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? So they never experienced war. They never experienced something like this. When I told y'all them pirates was coming and they wasn't ready, I was thinking to myself, they don't have any defenses set up. It may be that, but then again, the supervisor might pull out the secret guns and be like, "Hey, Playboy, you can put that down. We're gonna eviscerate your behind."
The other theory about the supervisor is true with him actually being tacked. He's got something set.
Yeah,
So do you have a question? Asked a good question from a few episodes back. Why is his lightsaber blue?
So the show has not answered that question. The only thing that we can entertain about that is just it's an interesting fact, because that lightsaber hilt with its unique design is from the High Republic, because this show has been doing some subtle connections to the Old Republic and High Republic days of the Jedi. And as we have been discussing, Jod is definitely trained. So I would love to know more about that lightsaber and how Tact came to it, and the way he was able to take care of it and literally had it on a pedestal.
I know, like it's the only thing there. It was like
that was like preserved.
It's a holy grail right
Dad's
there.
favorite. Yeah. So
and that's what led me to believe that your man's might be a Jedi. Not Jedi, raggedy ass. Excuse my language, bro. I'm sorry. But
no, it's possible because, like I said last week, a lot of Jedi left the Order, and some of them did become mercenaries and pirates and smugglers. So it's very possible that Tact also could have been one of those beings that did that. So the show has never answered it. It was just a very interesting reveal. So since we only have one episode left, I really doubt we're gonna get any other information about that lightsaber. I would love that we did, but
or it finds a new owner, or it finds a new owner somehow.
I mean, Wim still turned it on. I mean, I'm not like the kid still turned it on. The fact that he turned on an High Republic lightsaber, that thing is practically ancient. If he turned it on,
I ain't gonna lie. Jen, I'm sure you have a lightsaber, right?
I have 4.
I was about to send out a beacon. I was gonna grab mine. Dr. Gonna grab yours. Jen, you put two on the side in a holster.
Yeah, let's
go up on Jive.
Yeah, let's go get Jive, bro.
Yeah. Out of my 4 lightsabers, one of them is very Sithy, so I would have put that one on one side, and my personal one that I built on the other side.
Y'all already know what I'm rocking with. Y'all already know what I'm rolling with.
Yes.
I wasn't gonna ask no questions.
Touch one hair on Neil, and we ride and fly at dawn. No, we're not doing it.
It's okay because
do not touch the boy.
I think the biggest thing through this, and we got one more episode left. And next week, you're watching too. We're gonna still do that watch along, right? I think that'll be fun to do and then roll into a review. But our whole thing has been like, is there redemption for Jive? We've asked it every single week. I think this is the nail in the coffin for that. He found his treasure. He has it all there. He's good to go. If he I don't think he makes it out at Attin with it. I think there's still more at play for at least getting the rest of the pirates there, and maybe even Kim and her, and maybe you haven't seen the end of her too. But I'm just looking at it from a point of like, I don't think they make it. It's gonna be tough getting out of that.
I don't think we've seen the end of Kim and the Nightwings.
X-Wing.
The X-Wings. I don't think we've seen the end of them because I do believe KB has some more access within her apparatus where she can maybe send out a call. Hey, Kim, we need some help.
Well, they're going to need it. Yeah. And it's all going to be like how you get through that barrier too. Because our homeboy who went out first.
I told you.
Our homeboy who went out first, he's like, I got this. But it's a little choppy, but I got it.
But like I told you, that ship that came out of that first ship, it looks like an X-Wing.
But it was it was tailor-made.
At first when he got into the cockpit, I thought I was like, is that an X-Wing?
Right. So I'll say they look very similar.
I gotta X-Wing on what type of ship that is because I personally didn't recognize it. So I have to.
Well, I was thinking an X-Wing could possibly go through that gas barrier because it's kind of similarly shaped.
Even the crew was like, well, they don't make them like that anymore. Like even the crew of the pirates were like, when they saw it,
looking at the Onyx Cinder, like, dang.
Yeah, it don't make that anymore. My old pirate boy. But no, Brutus was Goldar. Let's go back to that real quick. Brutus was straight up Goldar. He looked more like, we've seen him all season, like every other episode. I don't know why Goldar stuck up in my mind with that one, but he's no more. We won't see him. Short-lived character. What? I mean, it's true. There's no coming back.
No.
I got shot in the head.
So there's no coming back for that. But life of a pirate, man, you just like one captain to another, man. Like, hey, well, he killed him. All right.
And then
the whole crew, when they saw that, were like,
questions were asked after that happened. Nobody said nothing. Well, nobody challenged your man or nothing.
Josh the silver-tongued devil, man. Like, he's talked his way to get them. Granted, he was right this time, but he's been wrong a lot of times before, apparently. So it's hard to think you can believe him. And then just looking at the kids and stuff too, like this whole episode it's like a gear up for the next one, but 34 minutes or so full for this one. Next episode, longer episode. What's idea? But before we go back, I'm jumping ahead just because this episode just
we have so much more to talk about.
I know. So let's do that we'll close out with that then. Anything else from this episode? Because I know my vitriol for Jod is steaming now.
I appreciated the fact that Wim was like, forget this. Attack! Hey, let's get it.
He went on a whim. I was like, we went on a whim.
Hey, he was like, no, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of y'all picking on us because we kids. No, let's get it.
Effort, baby. A for effort.
But you saw what happened too. The crew got behind him after that. There wasn't like a Wim come back here.
Yeah, no. Fern was like, grab somebody. Let's go.
Oh gosh, and I loved how he was like, according to the code, you can only have one ship.
Yeah.
You can't have two. And then he's like holding Wim's mouth. He's like, it's mine. I claim this one. Yeah. And then Fern goes, I reverse claimsies.
Yeah, unclaimsies. So we on some kid type stuff on this partnership. Huh?
Tap tap, no take backs.
Yeah.
Tap tap. I like that. Tap tap, no take backs.
Man, I was like, man, I thought Neil was gonna get upset and step on somebody's foot or something.
Man, it's just one of those. It's just that part alone. Like we've seen these kids through this journey, through this adventure. Wim went on this adventure. He looked like he wasn't ready to go back home. You know what I mean? Like
he was so disappointed that they were going home. Yeah. And the first thing he says, I still have to take my assessment.
Yep, that's
I know, man. Like, still the test on Monday.
Dude, I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I remember my years of the FCAT. I'm so sorry.
But that's like this show has stayed very true to the thoughts and lifestyle of a child. Yeah. And what they think, what they like, first thing coming to his mind, like we just said, is the assessment. That's like on Sunday saying like, oh, you get those Monday, nervous Mondays or whatever. Yep. I gotta go back tomorrow. I go back to school. Gotta do all this.
That's finals week. I don't want to go to finals week.
All the stuff that they survived. Like even Neil said, I thought we were gonna die a lot of times.
I almost die every day. This is such a fun adventure. It's like, oh my God, I love you so much.
But Jen, I'm sure there's stuff in this episode that we can need to dissect a little bit more. With the time we have left, what else was from this episode that stood out to you?
Oh, there was something said before, and I lost it. I hope it comes back because like this one had so many details. Oh, I know what I was gonna say before because it was just a general comment to what you were saying a moment ago. I appreciate that this show did not treat these kids like they were dumb.
Yeah,
because I feel like with some other shows back in the day and some movies, kids were just treated dumb because they were kids, and that's not what we're getting in the show because these kids have been put through literally the ringer and then some. Mm-hmm. I would dare say, they're not kids anymore. They're adults. They have been through so much. They just saw someone get shot in the head, and now they're being threatened with a lightsaber and basically, tormented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, it's gonna be hard to go back to life on Attin. Whatever happens in episode 8, it's going to be tough. Doc, what about you? Any other thoughts from this episode that we haven't fully covered?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. I'm just anxious to see how the final battle is going to end up because I have an inkling that Wim's force ability is going to kick in sooner rather than later. Because there has to be some type of emotion there, and it's going to take some type of emotion to get to pry that lightsaber from Jod's hand, to get that out of his hand.
The other side of the coin. Excuse me, kernel of corn. That it could be because it happened with Jod. It's also possible that they won't do that with Wim for whatever reason. He was just lucky to turn it on. But for me, that I will admit that's hard for me to swallow, just because with my understanding of the Force and Jedi training from the stuff that I've consumed for as long as I can remember, it's like, but that's a High Republic lightsaber. You just don't turn that on like nothing. So I don't know. We'll see. I really hope something happens with him where all of a sudden he's using the Force and everyone freaks out. Because the fact that KB called him Jedi last episode, I was like,
there's too many inklings. We started this off him.
That's kind of like a little hint.
So, and we'll go to everybody's favorite segment right after this when I ask this question. Predictions for next episode. What do we see? Doc, predictions for this finale.
Okay, you ready for this?
Give it to me.
So, what's going to happen is it's about to go down. Okay, the X-Wing's going to come out of nowhere because KB going to make that phone call. It's going to chirp, chirp, Kim, we need you. X-Wing's going to come out.
Boost.
I think what
the next tail chirp.
No, Doc. I think what you meant to say was she was going to send out a tweet. She was going to tweet.
Yeah.
She's going to Twitter instead of tweet.
Hey, come on. We need your help. We need your help. Send them X-Wings. The X-Wings going to come out. They're going to start shooting at the pirate ship. The pirate's going to leave, John.
She sends a tweet that says, I need it now.
Made it sound like it was the next tail chirp too, man. Where you at? Or Boost Mobile, whatever it was.
Rising.
Hey, that means when you heard that sound, that means somebody needs your immediate assistance, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Keep going.
And then I'm thinking the supervisor gonna come out of nowhere.
Oh,
and he gonna have a red lightsaber, and he gonna take it to your boy Jod. That's what I'm thinking gonna happen. But then I could be completely wrong. But that's just the way I'm thinking.
Jen,
can I add on to you? Well, I want to. Like this was not what I was thinking before, but it just popped in my head because of what Doc just said. If that happens, if the supervisor comes out and the bro or the sis is it's a bro. If the bro is holding a red lightsaber and he says to John, my old Padawan, like, excuse me.
We on the same wavelength because I was thinking something like that. Like that's gonna be.
I think
that's gonna be traumatic to Dion.
For me, I think it's a bit too far-fetched, stretched out. But if that did happen, like I feel bad for my neighbors because I'm just not gonna be quiet.
Because see, Dion, just think about this, dog. Remember what happened on the Acolytes when your man's turned or girl when she turned her lightsaber red. You remember that?
Oh, that moment was.
You see what I'm saying? Like, think about that. So, you see, John is already to the tipping point of like, I'm tired of all this shit. And bro, and I just see my man's come out with the red lightsaber. Then John just fed up. His shit turned red. Excuse my language. His lightsaber turned red. We finna fight. Let's go. Let's get it.
And what's the timeline of this story again? Where are we in the timeline for?
We're in the Mandalorian timeline. I believe it's in the timeline of season 3.
Okay.
The events of season 3 with the Mandalorian.
Because I love everything y'all are saying, but I'm trying to figure out something.
You trying to get God to come back?
No, oh God, I'm done.
Oh,
I'm done, man. I'm done.
He's too hurt, Doc. He's too hurt.
I'm done. Once he laid into them kids, man, I was done. But
yeah, no.
I feel like there should be a way we could find a way to take Wim on a journey to becoming a Jedi.
I would like that.
He doesn't get an assessment test. No more tests for him on that Attin. I don't know if he leaves at Attin or someone comes to get him, or if someone there who can teach him to. I don't know, but I feel like there's been too many.
The supervisor.
There are murals of Jedi at Attin and the other planet that they were on. They had the same similar setup with the same similar murals. Yeah. Now, another fact someone pointed out when I was listening to a few other reviews and discussions is that, and I have to go back and look at this, that Tact, it's actually the same species as Neil.
Man, come on.
Oh,
somebody come on. Are you serious?
Someone was like, I noted, someone said that they noted the hand. So I have to go back to that episode and look at that.
Now I got to go back and check that out.
Because they were like, well, we don't know who it is on at Attin. And then the head was cut off on the statue. And I believe the hands were the same as Neil's species.
And then he was covered up so much you couldn't
make out
get an inkling of what he looked like.
So that's another theory about the supervisor, that it's actually the species of Neil, along with him being Tack.
Man.
Boy.
And he's a supervisor.
So with that being said, I think, Jen, I'm going to throw it over to everybody's favorite segment to close us out for it.
I can't believe you made that. Thank you so much.
So, Jen, what do you got for last week, this week? What you got?
Okay, so the name that Pocket was calling Jod, which was Dash Renton, is actually a nod to a legend story that's entitled Shadow of the Empire, written by Steve Perry. There's a character in there actually named Dash Rendar, and it's basically a similar theme like the show. It's basically a heist criminal novel, if you were, and Luke and Leia are involved in it. Actually fighting one of the pirate clans in that one. So I thought that was interesting.
Wow.
And then what do I have here? Actually, the tunnel ride that the kids took, it was actually because that episode last week was done by Bryce Dallas Howard, who was the baby of Ron Howard, who grew up on all the Star Wars sets because Ron was working with George back in the day. So she was immersed in this. That was actually a nod toward Luke going down that same tunnel and Empire Strikes Back. There was a little mirroring going on there because that happens after the reveal of "No, I am your father." Scene, and where Luke deals with the fact that I was betrayed by Ben Kenobi. He lied to me. Same thing with the kids. They were betrayed by Jod, and then they go down the tunnel. And then it's also a nod to the Grinch because the Grinch goes down the tunnel because that's her daddy's movie. So a little bit of mirroring there. And then all of the crabs were stop motion puppets that was done by the company Tippett Studio, which did the original Rancor. That's in Star Wars: The Return of the Jedi. So we got some alumni on that one, which
wild.
Was really awesome.
And you said it's stop motion, so they really did.
Yeah, all those puppets were stop motion. So, and if you know anything about stop motion, to do a full,
that's like a full
minute of film takes a week to record. So they went all out with that one. Yeah. And then the Easter eggs on some of those crabs. You saw mouse droids from the Empire. One of them had a protocol droid leg. I think there was an R2 unit on the Mama. There was like so many Easter eggs on those crabs. What else do I have? I took a lot of notes. And then the space station, the Pirates space station, that was actually a nod to the Clone Wars. That was a medical station in the Clone Wars that the Pirates took over and made it a pirate space station. So, and then, the new theory I mentioned earlier, Tact possibly put his essence in SM-33, aka Smee.
That would be...
And Tack is basically with the kids the whole time, which is why he knows so much.
Well, we will check
we'll find
that
out.
theory
we will find
next week. I'm like, this week got me. This week got me a lot. It's we're in the home stretch here. One more episode, hopefully longer than 30 minutes.
Just have a hot cup of cocoa with cinnamon on top.
Well, what we're going to be doing, we can do that all together because we'll do a watch along with it leading up into it. We'll make the decision whether or not it's another link for the review, or we'll just stick around with the watch along. We might just stay together. But any closing remarks before we close this out for this episode 7? Yeah,
I'm waiting for the finale. I'm excited for this finale.
I have
really good series.
I have no idea how this is going to end. I'm just so excited, and I'm mad that I have to wait a week.
and a and a
Jack
really
Frick.
and a really good Star Wars series, a really good one from start to finish. It was. I think they'll stick this landing too because there's too much mystery for it to not like still get you through to the finish line.
Yeah.
But yeah, that will be. But that's our review for episode 7 of Skeleton Crew. One more episode left with finale. Like I said, we'll do a watch along next week leading up to it, to our review of it and the finale. But Jen, let everybody know where they can find you.
I am on this little thing, called social media. I'm on Instagram. I have 2 handles. My personal one is @Nerdiqua. My second one is my podcast @rocking_your_bald. I'm also on TikTok @Nerdiqua. I just joined Blue Sky, also @Nerdiqua. I'm still learning how to use it, so bear with me. But that's where I'm at.
And Jen, again, you have been a gem for this.
Thank you.
This has been with the Lord of the Rings. Just bringing in an expert, man. You know what I mean? Like we can speculate all day, into the galaxy of the stars that we're.
I have to do extra homework.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, we got season 3.
We do. We'll be.
It's coming.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Doc, let people know. Close us out, man, and where they can find us.
Hey, everybody, y'all know now. This is All Star Fandom Show, baby. You can find us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Y'all come talk to us. We talk back. We love you, and we'll see you next week. It's been me, Doc. That's Dion, and that's Jen. We out here. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.